Okay. Now let's go back to the project and let's finalize it. Okay. So in the last class, we have discussed that can we fork this repositories? Yes, you can. You can for sure. Okay. So now in this particular part, we have discussed about the data exploration, data cleaning, data analysis. In data analysis, we have discussed about different components of it as well. And this is one of it. And after that, by adding more details into it, we have written like this version of it, this version, and this version, and at the end finalized with this particular version, right? And then sorry, this particular version finalized with, and then on top of it we have also made some graph on top of it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove all the unnecessary things from this because I have made multiple graph with the same thing, and I'm going to use ChatGPT so that all of the color schemes, all of the graph that I have made will be standardized, because now I found the answer of the question that I want to. So I'm going to build all the graphs, and then on top of it I'm going to properly document everything. Okay. And while doing it, uh, let me do one more thing for you, and that is I am opening a new notebook for you. I'll tell you in a minute why I'm opening a new notebook for you. I'm opening collab.research.google.com. Okay. And inside this, I'm going to create a new notebook, and here I am going to the datasets repository first of all. And inside the dataset repository, let me download the dataset. Okay. Now I'm going to use Gemini to analyze my dataset. Okay. And we will see what exactly Gemini can do at this point, right now. So now I might ask is to go for this job posting dataset. Here it is. And now I'm going to download it. It will take a couple of seconds to download. But once it is downloaded, I've extracted it. So this is the file that I'm going to upload. So I have opened Colab. This is also something you guys can try. Here it's asking you like, do you want to upload a data set? Yes, why not? So I'm going to this jobs.csv file and let's upload it. Okay. And here the file is being uploaded. And at the meantime, I'm giving just basic command that analyze this data set. Okay, I'm just giving a very basic prompt of analyzing this data set. You can also go ahead in very detail that, okay, you can go for something like act as a professional data analyst. Okay, act as a professional data analyst and then do blah, blah, blah. And you can write all sort of things. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm opening ChatGPT to write the command for you. Okay, so write a prompt to professionally analyze the data set. Okay, uh, data set of jobs. Okay, so I have just written a very basic command that so that it will write a professional, I would say, prompt. So now it has clearly mentioned that analyze this data set, understand the data set, descriptive analysis, exploratory data analysis, insights, and optional. So it has added a very like a huge prompt. So I can copy it and I can go back and paste it here. So now the data will be analyzed in a much better manner. Now, what else I can do? I can also make the things a bit more advanced here. Okay. So I'm refreshing it so that the things will be gone. And now I'm just giving this data to ChatGPT. Okay. And I'm saying it, analyze this data thoroughly. Okay. Just a very basic command so that ChatGPT will analyze the data first, and then I am going to ask it to generate a professional, I would say, prompt that I can give to that model, and that is going to analyze the data for me. So you can see so far it started analyzing the data, and then whenever it's done, I'm going to give that command to to my Gemini. Uh, right. So you can see it is writing the code. It is doing some basic analysis, And these are the same kind of things that we can also do. So yes, this is another tool like ChatGPT can also analyze the data for you. So that's something like most of you might know already as well. But it's also about how effectively you are writing the prompts. So here you can see this is the analysis summary, right? Now write a professional prompt to analyze this data thoroughly. Simple, right? So now here you can see now, rather than going for the basic prompt that we have taken already, now in the data cleaning part, it's mentioning that experience alley and date column has to be cleaned. So rather than generating a in general prompt, it has generated a prompt that is specific to this. You can also mention the problem statement, the agenda, and all these things. It will generate that same kind of prompt. Okay. Now I'm going to do one thing. Now I'm going back and write the prompt here, paste it this time. And now just click OK. Okay. Now it will think for a second. Okay. And why it is better than ChatGPT? Because ChatGPT cannot write all the codes in one go and execute it and then give it your plan. So here you can see it has understood couple of things. So first of all, it is going to load the data, then it will clean the data, explore the data wrangling by performing some, creating some new features from existing one. Then it is going to analyze the data. Then it is going to visualize the data. Then it will also perform feature engineering on it to perform the correlation and see how each column is correlated to another one. Then it will do the analysis again. And then it will do the data visualization and the final task. So now this is a detailed plan. Now I just click on execute the plan and then it started executing it. Okay. Now, if I'm talking about this particular thing, it will
Understand?
take a couple of minutes to execute, not couple of seconds,
So
but
can you give
serious.
the file,
What?
the job.csv file?
Mhm.
Can you give us?
Yes, yes, yes. I'll share at the end of the session. Okay.
Me side by side we are write the code, so that's why.
Okay. Okay. Side by side, like today, we are not going to discuss about the coding part, right? We'll just discuss about how to properly document it. Clear? So don't worry, we are not going to write the codes. That's something we have already written. We have analyzed the data. We also discussed a bit about the data visualization part. Okay. So now here you can see it's writing the code. Okay. Now there is a term that's very popular nowadays that's called as vibe coding, right? This is what vibe coding is. Okay. Let the machine writes code for you and let them execute it for you and let them build the things for you. Okay. So this is what it is doing. So far, it is done with just first step. So I'm going to take it to itself only. And let's go back at the meantime it's being executed. Let's discuss about the different components of what all different tools do we have. Okay. So now this has also analyzed a lot of things for you. Now my task is to generate the documentation on top of it. Okay. This is the project that we have already made. So I'm going to add different layers into it. And at the meantime, I'll also compare my project with the project that it is executing for you. And if you go back, here you can see this has given an error. So that means it is going to execute it again. Yeah. So that is something it is going to do it by itself. Okay. So it is doing a lot of things by itself. So at the end of the thing, at the end of whenever it's done, I'm going to analyze it further. But right now, we have done the data exploration part, we have done the data cleaning and data analysis part. Now I'm going to remove the unnecessary things from here, unnecessary clutter from here, because there are a lot and lot of options we have taken. So this is the final graph that we were taking. So this graph is not of our use now. So does this one, right? So top 5 companies as per the reviews, these are the ones. Okay. And if the next task is to go for responsibilities, this is what we have, and this is a better version of it. So rather than going for this graph, it would be great if we are going for have I deleted like both of them? Yes, I had deleted both of them. Okay. Mhm. Just give me a second. Okay, that's the cell that I have. So skills needed. So this is the answer. Now this is just a single answer, single number answer. So I cannot plot a graph for this. And in the exact same way, rather than using this is a better graph that I'm going to use. Now, in the exact same way, I can also use the same kind of graph here as well. And eventually I'm going to do the final call. So for that purpose, I'm doing the exact same thing that we have done in the last class. Like this is the notebook I was using. Now I'm going to take what I would say this notebook, and now I'm asking it to do the same for this. Okay, do the same for this. Okay, so now it is going to do the exact same thing, making the bar chart with the same styling. So now this is the code that it is writing for you. So I'm going to copy paste the same code and then start finalizing the notebook. Okay, and here mm, 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 it is done writing the code. So let's copy it, go back, paste it here to check if it is going to return you the same kind of graph or not. And once done, here you can see like this particular one and this particular one are different. So I'm going to now give it back to this one that use this structure on the code, because right now I don't remember exactly like which code structure I have shared already. So I think this is something I'm going to share now. Structure code on the code below. So now it is going to hopefully write the same things. So I'm going to have, for example, now this is not a complete project. Usually we will be having a lot more number of questions than these just 3, 4 that we had. But I think you have the hook now. Clear? Now what I'm going to do, this is the whole thing that I have. Okay. Now I'm going to start documenting it, properly document it, and let's see how it works. Okay. And for that purpose, so it has done it. Let's give it a try on how it is doing now. And yes, this is doing fine now, right? So now this is the notebook that I have. So if I zoom it a little bit out, this has three components. First component is the data exploration, third is data cleaning, second is data cleaning, and third is data analysis. And after the data analysis, in the data analysis, we have only the graphs. Clear? Now my task is to properly document this project. Okay. And in properly documenting this project, I mean to say like uh in the on the top, we should have a proper vision and mission and proper agenda, right? Now, to write all the things, usually just to show you a simple data set, that's something that I usually show to most of the people here. You can see data crashed because all those
Hello,
RAM
hello, hello.
done. Yes, yes, want to say something? Okay, do you have the connect? Okay. Okay, yes, data wrangling error. So these are the kind of issues you will for sure get if you are using any online LLM tool. And here you can see I have given a clear instruction. Okay, so it is doing something, but for sure this is not close to whatever that I want. So these are the tasks that it has written. They are also not very well documented. So at this point of time, if you think that ChatGPT, or if not ChatGPT, or there are some LLM tools that can properly analyze the data and do all the things for you, we don't have it. Like this is currently one of the state of the art tools that we have that will help you analyze the data. But here the issue is in cleaning it, in exploration, in analysis, there are a lot of steps that are there in between. Okay, so doing it all the things by itself is a problematic part, even for ChatGPT and all the big LLMs. Okay, so best thing you can do is if you can use them as your assistant, then you can do it in the best way possible. As you can see, right? I'm using ChatGPT heavily to write all the things, to write the codes, to write the graphs, and to do the things for you, right? So that is something that you can do. But totally giving all the data to an LLM and then thought about it like if it will make the project for you. So sorry, you cannot make it. At the end, we are also going to discuss about one more tool, which is Excel, like how in Excel as well we have LLM enabled. For example, let me open Excel for you, uh, this particular data set, and then I'll tell you like how good these LLMs are, or how good these embedded AI is. So here you can see if I are using the latest Excel, so I can select the whole data set. So here you can see I've selected the whole data set. Okay. Once the whole data set is selected, I can go to this analyze data option. The moment I click on this analyze data option, it will start analyzing the data. And that's it, right? It will again take a couple of seconds or probably a couple of minutes as well to first of all analyze each and everything. Then you can ask it to do whatever you want, right? So I'm again waiting for it to do to load. Let's go back, and now as I've shown you, this is of uh, right now not a very great use, but you can give it a try, give your own data set and let it work. The more specific you are, the better it will work. Okay. And it is great if your data is already clean and then you are giving a click step by step instruction, then it can do miracles. Okay. But if your data is not cleaned, then there are some issues that it is going to create. Okay. So right now it's of no use for me. So I am deleting this part. Okay. And now if I go back here, you can see it has analyzed this data. It has some basic details about this data, right? So here you can see frequency of rating. So it has given a rating frequency distribution and some basic details. Now, what you can do, you can ask this model, or basically you can ask this particular way to that can give you something. For example, if I'm talking about total number of companies as per company column. Okay, let's give it a try. So here you can see total number of companies, and this is the data that it has. And that's great, right? This is exactly what I want, right? Not only that, it can also help you insert the data. So you can click insert, and here you can see it has inserted a pivot table for you. Directly inserted a pivot table, right? And can I write it something like uh and make a bar chart for them? Okay, so far it has generated just the pivot table. But if you know a little bit of Excel, you know, like through insert, you can insert any kind of table, pivot chart here as well, right? So yes, there's also something that can be done. So here we have option. For example, if I'm writing total uh, job postings, so total job posting on day one, on day two, day three wise. But if I want to go add with something less like jobs as per STFC Bank, it should be bank, not band. So you can see SDFC Bank on average is saying 4 jobs. Why exactly? I don't know, because I need to analyze this data, but it is a good starting point that it can give you, right? So let's go back again. And again, the point is the same. These LLM tools are great, but not without you at this point of time, at least. I'm pretty sure like in future, in probably in couple of months or years, you will be having some tools that can do all the things for you. And in Agentic AI, we also have couple of things that will take the things forward a little bit. But right now, I cannot say like there is any tool that can do all the task of a data analyst. Okay. And then I'll go back to the Excel drawer and we will have again a discussion on that as well. But let's go back. So this is the overall what I would say final sheet that we have. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to write documentation for it. Okay. And for documentation as well, uh, if you go to Kaggle, this is a notebook that show to it. This is a notebook I show to anyone, to everyone. Okay. Irrespective of if you are like from the offline batch or online batch. This is a notebook that I think. So if I go to my followings, so Josh, and he has made a notebook on Kaggle, which is this one, Netflix data visualization. Okay. So why I love this notebook so much? Because first of all, this is a 4-year-old notebook. So he has not used any LLM tool to write the documentation. He has written all the things by himself. Okay. And then if I go and scroll it, so here you can see all these things are documentation, right? And here you can see this is the code and this is the output. Okay. This is the code, this is the output. This is the basic data set, right? Then as you go ahead, here you can see in the beginning only he has defined the color palette. So throughout the project, he's going to use these particular colors. These are the hash code of these colors. So the person is going to use these colors throughout the project. So whatever graph it's going to make, so these are the colors it's going to use. So he is using Seaborn library for that, right? And that's great, right? And not only that, on top of it, if you go ahead, he has also defined the font family, the font size, and all the things standardized. So that throughout this is what going to happen. So same thing you can also do for this particular project. You can define a color palette in the beginning only, and you will make sure that all the graph that you are going to make should be of the same color. Okay. Then even for showing this particular data, this is the kind of graph that it is making, right? A lot of graphs will be there that you don't know what is the name of this graph, right? So as use these kind of graphs as well. For example, this is one, it is founded, and this is this is because this data is still 2021. Okay. And now on top of it, rather than displaying the data, like this data can be easily displayed in a paper, in a pie chart, in a donut chart as well. But here come up with going with something like this, right? And these are the code that will make this graph. Okay. And on top of it, this is another one. So rather than just displaying the top 10 countries on Netflix, this is what is taken. He might have taken all the graph, all of them with the same color or color in the gradient format. But here you can see top three in the same color with the notation. And kind of the same thing we have also tried with our system. Top three with a different color, with the different things, annotation, and rest of them in a different way. And that's it, right? And the same color choice we can also use for rest of the things. So this is the notebook. So this is the graph that is made, and another one and another one. And here you can see this is an area chart, right? But on top of area chart, this particular text that you can see, even this line that you can see, this text, the whole text is written inside this graph. So he has mentioned like at this particular region, write this text. At this particular region through XY plane, write this. And write movie here that you can see in red, and this bar here that's with the black color that you can see here, and add TV show here with this particular color. So that's a detailing that is made, and here you can see all the things are properly documented. Not only that, at the end of it, like what this graph exactly represent, it's also two paragraph summary or two-line summary, right? This is what I want when I say the project should be properly documented, should be well documented. Okay. And at the end, I also added a word cloud kind of a thing. Uh, and these are the final things, right? So this is the notebook that I strongly recommend everyone to go with, so that you can see what are the things that people are doing, right? And on top of it, there are a lot of other notebooks you will also get on GitHub, on Kaggle, that what are the exact thing that people are doing. Okay. So now going back to the same thing, if I go back to ChatGPT, now let's properly document it. So in the documentation part, one thing is for sure that in the beginning, I should have the agenda, I should have all the things ready, right? So now for that purpose, uh, here in the markdown part, I can write all the things. For example, I can write the agenda, I can write the KPIs, I can write the process, like in throughout this particular notebook, what are the things I'm going to do? You can add all the things here, right? And then you can mention like in the data cleaning part, these are the steps like 3.1, 3.2, and this is what we are doing and why we are doing it. All the things you can mention pretty clearly. There's no issue in that. But the issue is you need to manually add all the things. And now, because you have added all the codes by yourself, what is the need of using what's the need of doing all the things manually? Okay, you can do all the things using ChatGPT, right? So now we are going to see how we can help through ChatGPT or any other LLM model of your choice to write the documentation for you. So for that purpose, there are multiple ways to do it. You can like copy and paste this particular cell and ask ChatGPT to document it, and another cell ask ChatGPT to document it and do it so and so forth. Or I'm going to use a different approach. I'm downloading this notebook. Okay. So you can also download it as a PDF if you want, but I'm downloading it as a IPYNB file. Once it is downloaded, I'm giving this file, this downloaded file that I have to ChatGPT. Okay. So now this is of no use. I'm just refreshing it. And now giving this IPYNB file to ChatGPT and ask it to thoroughly analyze this notebook. Okay. So now it is writing the code to load this notebook in the in their context and then properly analyzing it. Like what exactly is happening in this. Okay. So once it is analyzed, now I can ask it to do one thing. Okay. So meantime, while it is executing the code, I'm asking it that write the documentation of this notebook in Markdown format. Okay. Now, just this documentation might not be that fine, but let's go ahead with it. Okay. Now, what is this Markdown format? Let's run it then without writing the documentation. Here you can see it is job analysis. This notebook perform analysis data on job perform, job roles, requirement associations. Okay. There's the notebook structure. So we are loading the data set in the data exploration. We are doing the basic exploration in the data cleaning and pre-processing part. This is exactly what we are doing. Then we are doing the data analysis and insights, visualization. Now here you can see this is not correct. This is not exactly correct because I know I have three components. I have the components. The first component is uh, loading means data exploration, then the data cleaning, then the data analysis. But here it is giving you four, five, six, seven, eight or nine components, which is not correct, right? So it would be great if you can exactly copy paste the same thing. Like so here you can see I'm copy pasting all the things now and not copy pasting all the things because I cannot do it in this way. But I have copy pasted couple of things so that I can give the context to it and ask it now document it. Okay, it would be great if this notebook can be downloaded as a PDF file and again then give to ChatGPT. It will understand it in a better manner. Okay, so you can see this is data exploration part. Okay, this data cleaning part, and that's great. Like all the things are written here in the codes are written here. Okay, and I'm expecting like all the codes are properly same as I have mentioned. So here you can see data visualization techniques, and then we can go for conclusion and recommendation and what you want to perform. That's great, right? This is a better version of it. Clear? So rather than directly downloading and posting it here, you can also copy paste everything and ask it. Now I'm just writing document it as a project intro in markdown format that I can paste in that I can use in the using my GitHub project documentation. Okay. And here I have mentioned clearly that do it in Markdown. Okay. So what Markdown is, Markdown, okay, right now it's writing a lot of things in the Markdown format. Okay. So, and here you can see it also mentioning the exact same number that are there, but this is something that's up to you that you need to go back and check it again. Otherwise, you might be getting a wrong data here, right? So this is the whole data that I have, and that's great. Okay. Now I'm just mentioning do it in Markdown format. Okay. Don't add any code part, Markdown only. So I'm giving a clear cut instruction that write the code in Markdown format. And this is how it started writing it, right? And here you can see this is exactly the same way I was also writing it, right? For example, if I go back to my notebook, exactly on the top. So here I can write, for example, Ashish and Ashish again and Ashish again. And this time I'm going with nothing and then one hash, then two and then three and then four and then five probably. Here you can see what exactly happening. You can also go for like double star and see what's happening. You can go for triple star and then see what's happening. So this format is called as Markdown format. Okay, this format is called as Markdown format. So through this particular format, you can also go with something like this. So you can see a dash is added. So now I'm asking ChatGPT to write the documentation for me, full proof documentation for me here. So you can see this is the Objecta, this is the data source, this is the data exploration techniques that I have applied. These are data analysis things. These are the chart that I have prepared and technologies that I have used, future scopes, and these are the contributors that I have, and that's great. And I don't know how it knows that this is my GitHub ID. Probably it has collected it from my GitHub account. I don't know how it knows it, but okay, let's copy it and let's go back to the notebook where I have made the notebook. I'm copying and pasting everything and let's see what we have. This is what we have. This is a well-written project overview, well-written objective. These are the data sources. Now, definitely you need to make sure that you go through the documentation and change it as per your use case. It's not mandatory that whatever it is writing that is correct, right? There are a lot of chances that whatever you are writing will not be exactly the same as you have done in the data set. So make sure to go for it by
Okay.
your, okay. And in the cloning part, after that, the whole project started. What else you can do if you think like this is too big to of the documentation, you can write, okay, uh, write it as someone with 10 years of experience would write. And also mention do it in minimalistic way. Okay, so that it will not write a lot of things. Okay, now here you can see, and you can check how well it is doing as with respect to whatever it has done in the last time. So here you can see that we have the overview, we have the objective, we have the key insights, and I think it is doing all the things kind of the same, but this time doing it in a minimalistic way. Okay. Author is something I mentioned myself, but along with that, I can also add a co-author of ChatGPT because I have used it heavily. But okay, that's up to you. Uh, but usually, obviously, you are not going to add it. So rather than writing this, this is something I need to write for it. But for rest of the things, I will be using the same. So if you don't want to go for a license, like you should be going for Creative Commons license. Okay. And this is a better way of writing it. Okay. Along with that, if you want to show them just first couple of rows in hand here only, so that's also something you can do, right? So for example, I am going back here and have I shown this data to them? No, no, right now. Okay. So what I can do, I can load this data here take this. Okay, and here I can write, uh, give me random 5 rows of this data in markdown format that I can add in my documentation intro. Simple, right? So now it will load the data. It will take a random sample from it, understand it, and it is writing the same thing in the markdown format so that I can have a check in the beginning. What exactly do we have? Okay. So this is what we have. So I can copy it. I can go back, and in the overview part, exactly after it, if I'm pasting it just to give it a check, this is what we have, right? These are first couple of rows of the data set. This is the sample 5 rows. And along with that, you can add at the end, like after cleaning of the data set, how the data looks. Okay, this is the author, and this is from where I'm starting my project. And here I can add the proper uh, documentation. Like the first part is the data pre-processing or whatever I have named. So that named will be taken as it is. If you want to change the documentation a little bit by changing the colors, uh, the sizes properly, you can do all these things as well. This is just a basic thing. Okay, that I have added an intro that looks professional. On top of it, if you want to add an image, because adding an image would be great. Yeah. So what I can do, I can also do something like make, like take these images, or basically take all these images, 3, 4 images that I have. Okay. And then add them here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a different approach this time that I have not used earlier. So let's give it a try how well that works. So this is part one. This is the first graph. This is the second graph. This is the third graph. And along with that, imagine this is the fourth graph. Okay, now there will be a lot more data that we have already. So now I'm taking this, okay, taking all these images that I have, okay, give it to ChatGPT, okay, and then make a dashboard image, dashboard banner image by taking a reference from these images. And you can mention whatever detail that you want to mention. Okay. Like, and I can mention, make sure it's in what I would say, landscape format, because I want to add it in as a banner in my notebook on top. Okay. And along with that, you can also mention the color, the case sensitivity, whatever you want. And yep, now I can write generate the image. Make sure that the agenda of analyzing the data should be clearly visible in the final image. Okay. And now let's wait for it. Okay. One bad thing that I have done is I have opened this chat in temporary mode. Because I have opened this chat in temporary mode, so whatever image that it is going to generate will not be visible to you. Okay. So what I'm going to do again, so pasting this, and along with us, take all of them side by side. Now, the answer you will get after this would not be as great as something that you will get after, if after this, because here the issue is it also me here the best part is it also has the context of the data. Okay, it also have the context of the notebook that is mentioned here. So that's the great part here. Or what you can do, we know that this is also something that we have. So you can also copy paste this particular part add it as a context, and then as well, you can give it a try. Okay, so I will take this. And now if I'm going for it, I will get a better image. This image that it is going to generate, as I've told you, it will not be visible. Yes. So in the temporary chat format, try not to do it. But it's generating it. And this one, the image that this is going to generate will be visible to you. So you can take this image, download it, and use it wheresoever you want. For example, if you want to use it in your banner, so here you can see the image is visible, but here it will not be visible. Here it has generated it, you can download it from here, but it's not downloading and it's not opening as well. Okay. So rather than using it in temporary mode, make sure to do it in this mode. And this time it is going to generate a dashboard for you. You can open it, download it, and use it in your notebook. Okay. And on top of it, as I've told you, not just an overall overview should be there. You can also write here. For example, in checking the null values, this is what you have, right? So you can copy this particular part, okay, and ask your LLM, ask your chat GPT to generate a single one word documentation for this one as well, right? So here you can say like this is the code and this is the part, right? And here you can write a basic uh, two-line summary of this in markdown format. Okay, so it will, if you want to go for a two-line documentation, you can go for two-line documentation as well. So you can copy it, go back, and exactly at the bottom of it, paste it. So this is the overall summary of this. So this data set contains significant amount of null values, specifically in rating and reviews column. Highest number is this one, and here you can also go for something like this to write the things in bold. Okay, so this is a basic two-line summary. Okay, and now you can do exactly the same thing for this, for this, for all the steps, and it will do it. It will help you do it. For example, now here I can insert, do the same for this. That what exactly is happening here? Okay, so here it is doing this, and here you can also mention rather than using this, make sure to bold it. Okay, make it more visibly appealing. So it will modify the things a little bit. Probably it will add them. Yes. So this is, I think, a better way of writing it. So, and that's it. That's great. So I can write these things here. Now this is a much better thing. This is exactly showing what we are doing here. Okay. And in the exact same way, now, now this is easier for you. Now you can write, now do it for this one. Okay. So in the exact same structure, it's also going to do the code for this one. Okay. And then the rest of the things, as I've told you, would be easier, right? So this is a well-documented project. If you want it to not look like you have used ChatGPT, you can ask it to use a simpler language. Don't use heavy jargons. It's just about prompting. The better prompts you will write, the better it will become. That's it. Okay. And here you can see I have added a basic documentation on top. I have added the documentation at the bottom, and let's see the image if that is generated or not. And here the data is generated. Here the dashboard is generating. Job market analysis dashboard, top companies, key responsibility, data analysis, industry insights. Okay. So I'm not very happy with it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new one. And this time I will, and rather than passing all the content, I am just mentioning here this, so that I can see now what is going to generate. Here, because I have given a lot of context of the code that is written, so it is not making any graph, it is just making a basic banner. I want a proper banner with visualization as well. So this time I'm expecting a banner with visualizations as well. Okay. And at the meantime, if you guys have any doubt, let me check if you have any issue or not. Share the Google. Okay, I'm sharing it. No worries. I'll share it at the end of the session so that you won't get confused in between by writing the codes and updating it. Mm, 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 mm. Collab link of collab of GPT. Collab of GPT. I don't understand collab of GPT. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, so now top 10 analysis. That's exactly something that we are getting, and my task is to properly. And here you can see it is combining all the graph that I have made in one single image. Okay. Now exactly you need to cross verify everything, like if these graphs are exactly the same or not. Now these LLM tools, the ChatGPT and some and these tools are really great. So you can use these tools uh, to get a pinpoint accuracy on the graphs as well. But sometimes they are not that great. And whenever there is a complexity added, whenever there is text added, these models are not that great. Okay, so this is what it has generated. Okay, now I can mention now do it in minimalistic stick way and be as creative as you can. And here I can mention do it in a Bango style. Okay, now what is this Van Gogh style? Those who know this artist, so he's a painter, very famous painter. You might have seen his painting, the very right. There's the famous image from Van Gogh. So it is going to generate this image this time, but be means beat creatively and add some components of Van Gogh style here. You can also go Da Vinci style, Disney style, or the very famous art form that was trending probably a couple of weeks ago, the Ghibli art. Okay, so now let's go back, and this is the image that I can properly document here. Now, this is something that is going to make the whole project for you. And once that part is done, your task is to go to GitHub. Once everything is done, after that, you need to do it. Okay. And you need to create a new repository. Okay. So go here, create a new repository. Once you have created a new repository, just mention the name of the project. For example, job analysis project. Okay. Here you can add some basic description like this uh, repository have all the code that I made for the project that I'm making like during the project of Geeks for Geeks, whatever you want to add, just a basic description you can add. Then you can make sure to make it public. Make sure to add README file so that people can see what exactly there in the documentation. And you can add a license if you wanted to, but you will not be using. It's not mandatory to use a license if you are not using a license work. Then you can click on create a repository and your repository will be created. By far this is an empty repository, so here you can see this is something that I like. Okay, I can't neglect it, I like it. But here you can see the text that is written at the bottom should be removed. So here you can click on this and you can go to this particular row and you can ask to remove it and do all sort of things that you want to. But at this point of time, I'm going to use it, for example. So I'm going to just download it. And that's it. Once it is downloaded, I'm going to upload it here. Okay, because this is going to be my banner, right? So the banner should be written here. So this is going to be my banner.jpg. So I'm uploading this banner first of all, because this banner is something I'm going to use. So I'm uploading it. And along with that, the project that you have made, all the codes that you have well documented, make sure to add the job analysis, like all the proper readme, proper documentation with everything. And at the end, make sure to write the summary of it as well. For example, along with the graph, we are not making the graph for the sake of making the graph. We are making the graph for sake of getting some insights out of it, right? And to getting some insight out of these graphs, like this particular notebook that I have already made where I'm generating all these insights, give this graph to it. Okay. Now do the same for this. Okay. So it will analyze the image and it will generate a summary for it. Okay. So this is the pie chart displaying this TCS for this particular percent. Okay. And now I can write generate an inference documentation for the same. Okay. Or the summary documentation for the same, and act. Yes, that's it. You can also mention act as a professional data scientist working in 10 years in the industry. And so here you can see top 10 companies with the minimum revenue. Here you can see this is the overview. These are the key insights. These are the business impacts. These are the future scopes. These are the conclusions, right? So this is a pretty detailed summary of this. So what you can do, whatever, like you can mention like top 10 companies as per reviews, and at the bottom of it or at the top of it, totally up to you, you can add this documentation to see what exactly is happening here. Okay. So top 10 companies with minimum revenue analysis, I think it's the minimum reviews. I think it's based on maximum reviews. So definitely you need to go up and check it. Make sure to check these numbers if these numbers are correct or not. This is the overall summary of it. You can also mention it like do it in a minimalistic way and do it for all the graphs. You can also mention it that at the end of the whole notebook, you can add a final summary. Okay. And for the final summary, you can go for very basically like the way I went here. And here, whatever graph that I have made, I can pass it here and I can go for like generate a final conclusion summary that I can attach in the at the end. Okay. You might be thinking I'm using a lot of ChatGPT. That is for sure. You are also going to use it, but I'm using it because I know how to do it by myself as well. If I can do it by myself, right? But in your case, if you are pretty new to this, if you don't know how to visualize the data, if you don't know how to use Matplotlib, Seaborn, what are the components that we have, or then in that case, that would be an issue because sometimes ChatGPT will give you the code that will not work. In that case, you need to know how to debug it. And you can only debug it if you know the game, if you know how to do it. So you can be dependent on
वो
it. This
चावल बनाओगे कि रोटी?
what?
अच्छा सब बन गया? हाँ 9 बज रहा है। मैं इससे काम कराओ, बहुत देर से काम नहीं की, एक काम की नहीं।
Mm, 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 mm.
एक
Okay. So, so here you can see this is the final conclusion. Okay. Again, you also need to go back and check this as well. Like this is correct. This is the correct final conclusion or not. But this will help you write a lot of things. So all the boring tasks that we have, that is something that is uh, that's something that can be easily automated with tools like ChatGPT and so on. So now I'm writing just the final responsibility or final the the conclusion part here. So this is the final summary that we have in all the graphs. And once that part is done, you can download this. And once it is downloaded, you can go back. Okay, not download it right now because we have not uploaded the image here. So make sure to attach the image as well. You can also attach the image here, but if you want to attach something else, you can do that as well. So here you can see in the overview part, I can add an image here, right? For example, uh, I have uploaded this image here named as banner.jpg, right? So now I can go inside it, banner.jpg, and this is the image that I have. I can write open image in new tab, and this is the exact image link. So I can copy this link, and I can go back and ask ChatGPT to write mark down code to attach this image. And now this is the code to attach this particular image link. So let's go back, add this link here, execute it, and we have the job analysis project inside image as well. If you want to crop it a little bit, you can crop it and then upload it here. So you can do a lot of things. And once this part is done, do we have all the graphs here? Yes, we have all the graphs here. So you have all the important details that has to be there. So you can download this IPYNB file, save it here, and then you can go back and upload your notebook that you have made here. That is this one. And once your notebook is uploaded, here is your here is your final project uploaded on GitHub. You can go here and here you can watch all the code that you have written. So there are 999 lines of code. Okay. If you check, like, this is the well documented project that you have. Right now it's mentioned, okay, here it's showing in this particular format. So it would be great if you take the screenshot of the image and post it here. But if in my notebook, it's not mentioning in this way, it's mentioned in a proper way. So I don't know why it's showing in this way, but in this particular case, you can either edit it, delete it, or again, take a screenshot and add it here as we have added here. Okay. And then all the key insights, GitHub profile. If I click on this, okay, I'll be landing to my GitHub. That's fine. And on top of it, do I have all the graphs and everything here? Yes, everything is properly documented here. That's nice. Now, one thing, again, coming to the same point, I can again copy paste the whole thing, copy it, and go back to ChatGPT again, and uh, do a finalize readme documentation for the same, for the attached one, and do it in Markdown. Now, this time I'm going to generate one final Markdown code, and you might be thinking now, what is this Markdown code for? So this Markdown code is for, if you go back, this particular README, so that anyone, if they open your GitHub repository, this job analysis project, they can see what this project is all about. So here you can also mention all the things in detail. Okay. Or sometime imagine if this is a big project where you have like 10 different PY files that are communicating to each other. Uh, you are training a machine learning or deep learning models, or so we have one code you have for cleaning it, another one for machine learning model, then you are building a pipeline for deployment, you have another code. So in that particular case, there's a lot of codes that are there. So you can mention in the README file which particular part is exactly doing what, how you can run the same code on their system. So all these details should be there in this README. Okay. And now By mentioning the code that you are going to write is for README, it's going to make sure that it is going to look like a README file. Okay. So visualization, duplicate removal summary. Okay, this is what it has. Okay, if you want to make it just look like a documentation only, so you can write it in that way, but you can go back here, edited this part, paste it here, and just by click on commit the changes. Now here as well in the README, so whenever someone open this file, this is how the documentation looks. So now we have the data in a table. This is sample data, this is the objective, this is what we are going to do. And here it is properly well documented. And at the end, there's the license. These are the things that we have. And along with that, in at the bottom, you can write your GitHub profile, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, whatever you want, you can add it here. So this is your final project. Instead of writing just this particular image, you can attach also the actual graph images. Okay. You will get a lot of, again, well documented projects on Kaggle on GitHub as well. But this session, uh, we emphasize a lot more on how you can use LLM tools, specifically ChatGPT and Gemini, and you can use any tool of your choice, because it will make the thing a lot easier for you. Here you can see it took me almost half an hour to build this whole thing, because in between I was also talking and that's also while talking to you. And imagine how much time it is going to take if I'm doing it alone. Okay, it will hardly take half an hour to complete this whole project, which includes all the codes standardized in same format, all the graphs made in a standard color, and on top of it, properly documenting it as well. Okay, and as I've told you, that totally depend upon the project, that totally depend upon the KPIs. Clear? So this is the final project that I have made. This is a well documented project. Okay. Now definitely there are a lot of things that can be improved on this, but this is a good starting point that you can give it a try. Like you can give the sample data, on top of it you can also give the finally clean data. Okay. So this is it. Okay. So I'm going to take the machine learning bootcamp part also. Okay, machine learning bootcamp part is something going to be taken by some other mentor. Okay, deployment project on GitHub and deploy this project on GitHub. Okay, deployment part is not something we are going to discuss right now. Okay, conversation on. Can you share the conversation in the chat GPT as well? Okay, the conversation of ChatGPT is I can share, but here the issue is if I have attached any document here, then I might not able to share. For example, this one has some images, so I cannot share it because this is something that is the issue with ChatGPT only. Okay, so I cannot share this. Again, this and but if there is no images, no any data loaded, then those files can be shared. Okay, so now uh, let me recap everything. Then I'm going to take last couple of minutes to take your doubts. Okay. So this is the notebook that I have taken. So right now this is of no use. Okay. And this is the final one that I have made. And this is the final documentation that I have used. Clear. So now to summarize, we started with the flow of the data analysis project. We started with the agenda, the problem statement. Okay. Based on that, we find the key performance indicators, the KPIs, uh, or in KPIs, we have the exact question that we have to answer. Once we have these questions, we'll ask for data. And in data as well, we have different kind of things. We can use Beautiful Soup to collect the data from internet as well. We can use Selenium. We can use Scrapy. We can use APIs to collect the data. So if I'm using API, we usually don't call it as web scraping. Okay, and get data from different sources. We need to combine the data, and after that, we'll explore the data. We'll clean the data, analyze the data, visualize the data, and after that, there's an add-on thing to properly document it, upload it on GitHub, upload it on like whichever source you have. You might need to build a dashboard, you might need to deploy it as well, totally depend upon the problem statement. Okay, but this is the ideal flow. You can either use SQL, you can either use Excel, you can use Tableau, you can use a Power BI, you can use Python. There are a couple of things that one tool can do, another one cannot. For example, SQL cannot do data visualization, but using Power BI, integrating it with Power BI Tableau, you can. Okay, so this is the flow of the data analysis project. Okay, so I'm going to share this file with you. This is the Colab file. This is the file that I'm going to share with you. And on top of it, uh, this is from where you can get the data set. So this is the file I'm going to share it with you. Along with that, this is the final. Okay, this is not the final one. Uh, okay, this is also of no use. And this is the notebook file that I'm going to share. This is going to be, okay, this is the dataset file only. Okay, both of them are having the dataset file. Okay, so now, and this is the this is the notebook that I need to share it with you, which has all the codes. And on this particular part only, it would be great if I can upload my CSV file as well, because CSV file is on which you are going to work, right? So I'm going to share it with sharing just this particular file will work. Okay, so this is the final job analysis project, is the final notebook that I have made. Yeah. And along with that, ChatGPT right now it's of no use. So I'm dropping it. This is the banner. I'm dropping it. Job analysis case study. Okay, this is the reference one, and that's it. Okay. So now to share with you the important links, the only important link that will work in all the cases is this one, how to reach here. I'm going to share it with you right now as well. But if there is a way, like if you forget to save this link or something like that, so you need to go to the internet or go to probably Google and search Ashish Chandra. Okay. And then you can go to this first link. Okay. The GitHub one. So click on this GitHub one. And inside this, you can go to repository. And inside this, I've created a repository just a minute ago. Job analysis project. Click on this one. So this is the CSV file that you need to download. This is the code that you need to execute to get the things done. That's it. Okay. If you want to, if you want the Colab link, so the Colab link is also something. Let me add it here. So, okay, let me add it here only. In the documentation part at the end, okay, where I was adding like the author details, here I am also mentioning the Colab link. And in the Colab link, I'm pasting this particular link so that you can directly access this Colab as well. So share, copy done, and that is it. Yep, that's it. So I'm committing the changes. So this is where you will get all the things. So scroll down at the bottom, you will get the Colab. Okay, the Colab is not edited properly. Let me check why. Get a profile. Okay. 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 So issue is this whole link has to be replaced. And this is the region where I have the whole link. So this is going to be the link. And now here is the GitHub profile. Click on this. Okay. Rather than writing the GitHub. So here is the Colab. You can click on this Colab and it will open. So this is the final project that we have. Okay. Now I'm going to take some of your questions and then we are going to wrap up. Okay. Okay. The actual link. I don't know which link you are talking about, sir. Could you please send the link of Excalidraw as well? Yes. Yes. Okay. Let me add the Excalidraw link here as well. And it would be great if I'm adding all the things here only so that it would be easily accessible to you. And this time the link should come from this. So if anyone has having doubt, do let me know in the chat. Otherwise, we will be wrapping up. Okay, so this link is also updated. Replace your existing content. And here it is. Okay, great. So that is it, everyone. Please type the project mark as the industry ready. Please type. Okay. Can these type of projects make you industry ready? So, well, definitely there are a lot of if and buts that you need to add on top of it because this is not the complete project. Okay. Uh, we have just asked 4 or 5 answers. Usually in a full-fledged project, there will be multiple questions that has to be answered. And these questions are not specific to one use case. Okay. And for that purpose only, I've shown you this data set of job analysis case study. Where is that? Job analysis case study at this data set. So in this particular data set, based on company side, what are the questions that we have based on market trend responsibilities? So if you are going in these particular details, yes, then that is industry ready. Okay. And usually, as I've told you, this is the flow. Every project should be properly documented, well written code. And yes, that's it. And you need to have like 3 to 4 decent projects like this, which are well documented. Okay. And necessary to have CS related degree to be a machine learning engineer is not which roadmap should I follow? Okay, a CS or a maths degree is preferred. Okay, but there are a lot of people from other industry also coming in this. So right now, there are a lot of people coming from different industry as well. Is after data import with collab, how can we import our project? Assume we import our project. I don't understand import your project. What do you mean by import your project? Yes, Akshat. Yes, for sure. You can connect with our marketing or marketing teams. Like they'll get to know the timings. Okay. So LLMs are allowed. Is the use of LLMs allowed during interviews for the data science? So basically, LLMs are not allowed. If in a rare case they might allow you. But all the things, if you look closely, uh, the things that we are doing, I'm using LLMs heavily for documentation. I'm using LLM heavily for when I have written a code and then I want to just enhance it. For example, I know how to plot a graph, but to plot a graph in a better manner, I'm using it. So the technicality is something that you need to know. In interviews, companies will not ask you, okay, uh, plot this graph or plot this graph with this particular color. This is a this is the kind of question that are never asked. that are very rarely asked. The question that you will be asked is perform group by function, or answer this particular question, or clean this particular column. For these kind of things, we have written all the codes by ourselves. So you need to know like what are the things that you should be knowing, and on what things it's uh, good to be dependent on LLM tools. Because as you can see, if you have made all the project, writing all these things is just unnecessary time consumed, right? So you can use any LLM tool, or you can build an agent as well that can write the documentation for you. Okay. First year, what skills do you have to learn? So if you are a first year student, what skill you need to learn? So usually it should be programming for sure. It should be your logical ability, which comes in DSA. And the best thing you can learn is start learning these LLM tools. In whichsoever industry you are, make sure to know what are the upcoming tools, what are the main tools that are coming in as per your thing. For example, if you are you want to learn web development, you need to know what are the top AI tools, top LLM tools, or generative AI tools that are currently running, currently you can use for web development. For example, for web development right now we have Firebase Studio. For We also have like some tools like Lovable AI. There are some tools that are out there, so you need to be updated about these tools as well, along with your technical skills. Knowing these tools are also really important, because these tools will make you 10x 20x more productive. Okay, because as you can see, the documentation that you can see, it will take 5 to 6 hours just for the documentation. Now within just half an hour, I have written the documentation. Definitely, I need to proofread it again. I need to check the facts again, if that is correct or not. But it's making my life a lot easier. Okay. Coding require mathematical knowledge. Yes, mathematical knowledge is needed. Okay. Okay. Okay, the type of documentation on the website mainly considering Django application. Okay, how we can application this kind of documentation? Okay, so to add these kind of documentations in your application, so either you can add them as the HTML CSS format, right? So whatever documentation that you have, add it in the HTML format. Or if you want to deploy this whole thing, you can upload it on your website and open it as a Jupyter Notebook viewer. So that's something that can be used. Okay. So free version alternative of the Firebase Studio. Firebase Studio is the most accurate. Yes, Firebase Studio is something I've tried as well. We uploaded a video of Firebase Studio on YouTube as well, probably 2 3 weeks ago, where I have made application on top of it. The tool is great. Okay. So can you please discuss more about the license use? Well, a license is something that's something you are going to use if you know like your work is very, very much proprietary. You don't want anyone to use it. So then you can say it. Okay. And if your data, your code is properly, that's something you have written it by yourself, then you can give for license. Usually, most of the time, the code is not like that. So you don't need to go for licensing it. Okay. Am I now in third year? Should I go for specialization in data science? Yes, yes, why not? Just ask yourself first, but yes, you can for sure. Okay. Okay. I'm from non-maths background required for data analytics. Do only studies 10 class CBSE. Okay, if you have learned math till this class CBSE, data analytics is something that you can easily understand. For machine learning, for deep learning, or digging deeper into LLMs models like that, you need to have good knowledge in algebra and calculus. So that's something that you need to uh, add more of yourself into. To do a scene in parallel with data science, yes, why not? Because there are a couple of things that are in common. Okay. How can we generally fresh data sets? How can you please brief? show how can we generate fresh data set from any site like Naukri and Airbnb. I like the way to generate a lot of data sets. Okay, so to generate the data set, I have shown you earlier as well. You need to uh, go to, because this is going to be long answer for that, but an easy way would be you can go to the website GitHub, on my GitHub repositories, and here just write scrape. Okay, so you will get a lot of web scrapers here. Okay, and on top of that, you can go to YouTube and watch any 4 to 5 minute video. You will understand what web scraping is and how to do it basically. And if you are already a part of the data science course that you might be, or data analysis course, you have the access to the web scraping course as well, so you guys can check it out. Okay. Okay. So thank you so much everyone for joining in. If you guys still have any question, if not right now, probably in future, you guys can connect with me on LinkedIn. And I hope this series is worth it. You guys have the understanding of how a end-to-end data analysis project is being done, starting from getting the agenda done, then we are finding the KPIs, then exploring the data, cleaning the data, analyzing it, visualizing it, and on top of it, we have also discussed how you can properly document it, how we can properly visualize it, professionally visualize it. Okay, and I also shown with you the notebook that you can go to my Kaggle, like search my name on YouTube, you on Google, you will get my LinkedIn, uh, Kaggle, and GitHub. So on Kaggle, you can go to followers, and there's a code of Netflix analysis that was great. So you guys can check it out as well. Apart from that, there are a lot of other tools as well that you guys can try. That you guys must try. So be updated with all the LLM tools that are currently doing the task for you. Right now, these tools are not that great that they can replace you, but you can use them as your assistant uh, for now, right? In future, there might be some tools that will be better than the tools that we have already have, but there are a lot of issues with these tools as well. But because there are companies which don't want to share the company's personal data with the LLMs, so for that purpose only, the companies might ask you to not use ChatGPT or not share the data with these tools. So that's also something that we need to think of. But decentralization is something that can help you, which will not share the data with the server on the server, but it will run all the things on your local system. So yes, there are a lot of things that there are a lot of content we will be pushing it, and make sure to like give your feedback, like on what topic you want more sessions. So we'll be definitely have those sessions as well. LinkedIn. Okay, search Ashish Jangra on Google. You will get the first as the LinkedIn. Okay, is it difficult to learn manually without AI? Difficult to learn manually without AI? I don't know what you are talking about. Okay, so thank you so much everyone for joining in, and I'll see you in some other lecture. Take care everyone, and I'll see you probably in some other lecture. Thank you everyone. Bye bye. Thanks for the nice comments. Take care everyone. Bye. I'm going to have a dinner now.